everybody, when it comes to faster payments, wouldn't it be great to have some guiding principles from a government agency to help ensure we're all doing everything correctly as an industry? That would be awesome. Well, what if I told you we already do? Stay tuned. July 9th, 2015. Yes, I said 2015, almost 5 years ago. The CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, did something awesome. They released the Consumer Protection Principles, CFPB's vision of consumer protection in new, faster payment systems. Why? Well, to ensure consumer interests remain top of mind throughout system development and also to facilitate the integration of consumer interests when it comes to developing faster payment systems. Now, this was 2015. Real-time payments had not been released yet. Even same-day ACH was something that was on the way. But the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau released a set of consumer protection principles. These were principles to express the Bureau's vision for new payment systems that were created upon lessons we have learned from existing systems and ongoing payments innovation. It is important to note, with the principles, they did not specify how they must be achieved. They only recognized that a variety of system components, including the system architecture, operator covenants and warranties, requirements for participants and intermediaries, rules, and a bunch of other mechanisms, possibly a bunch of other mechanisms, would play critical roles in providing consumer protection, utility, and even value. The Bureau also stated they would continue to work with their fellow regulators, other entities that are developing these new systems, consumer advocates, and any other stakeholders in the industry to ensure that any new payment system addresses consumer needs and interest. Now, in the Consumer Protection Principles, the CFPB's vision of consumer protection in the new, faster payment systems, they stated as they realized that faster payment systems hold great promise for consumers, that these new payment systems could provide consumers with greater utility and more effective account management, even enabling consumers to take and have greater control of their financial lives. But the faster payment systems have to be safe, transparent, accessible, and efficient. Faster payment systems must keep certain consumer protection concerns in mind. What are those protections the CFPB says must be kept in mind? Number one, consumer control over payments. Any new faster payment system must be clear about when, how, and under what terms consumers have authorized the payment. It has to match with what the consumer authorizes. So, systems should enable consumers to put parameters on the payment, such as limiting the time period for which an authorization is valid, the amount, and the payee. Systems should also specify procedures for consumers to easily revoke authorization. That easily revoke once sent is a little concern when it comes to real-time payments. But let's continue, because we're going to address that in a future video. Number two, data and privacy. When helpful to consumers, consumers are to be informed of how their data is being transferred through any new payment system, including what data is being transferred, who has access to the data, how that data can be used, and of course, any potential risk. Do recall this knowing about data is very critical today, but was a very hot topic then as General Data Protection Regulation, or GDRP, was a hot topic over there across the pond at that time, and still is. But let's go on. Also, as appropriate, the systems allow consumers to specify what data can be transferred and whether third parties can access that data. When consumer data is collected, it should only be used in ways that benefit consumers. I wonder who decides if it is a benefit or not. Basically, the system needs to protect against misuse of the data associated with payment transactions. Number three, fraud and error resolution protections. Faster payments will need to have consumer protections with respect to mistaken, fraudulent, unauthorized, or otherwise erroneous transactions. Systems should provide mechanisms for reversing erroneous and unauthorized transactions quickly once they're identified. I do get asked a lot what happens if an RTP is sent by mistake. Well, it's called a request for return of funds message, and hey, truth is that's going into that is well beyond the scope of this video. Stick around for part 3, you'll learn more on that one. The CFPB also said in fraud and error resolution, protections that faster payment systems also need to provide will be in line with consumer regulatory protections such as Regulation E and Regulation Z, along with any other appropriate safeguards. Wow, that's only the first 3. You want the rest? Well, you're going to have to tune in next week for part 2. I do want to thank you for watching, and I hope, as always, you have a fantastic Faster Friday. Please feel free to email me, kevin@paymentsforfester.com. If you'd like more, you can always go to our YouTube channel or the Payments Professor's new and updated website, where we have additional courses and information available to serve and aid professionals like you to learn everything that you need to know to advance your career, get raises and promotions, and to do so while also helping to protect your organization and those you serve.